Hello, welcome back to the MMA Split channel for our weekly podcast. Lots to talk about. We've got Bellator 281, we've got UFC Fight Nights Vegas, Blachowicz versus Rakic to break down, a little bit of MMA news as well, but we are going to be starting with the first thing that happened on the weekend. Our Bellator breakdown.
Chronological.
Of 281. Bellator London, almost said UFC London, same bloody mistake I kept making on the
That's
picture.
right, no, we didn't release that. We fucked up the audio. I mean, the picture wasn't great. I don't know how much of the picture we're going to use. It was going to be an audio only. But you can't do audio only when you fail to record the fucking audio. I apologise.
It's alright.
That was my fault.
We apologise for not releasing that episode, but we're trying to make it
You'll never see it.
a quality over quantity kind of thing. And
Best one we've ever done.
As you can see, this has brought us together. We are in the same room so that we don't have any Wi-Fi, processor, video ninja complications. It is simple, it is uniformed. We've got 3 shots and a nice little setup. So we're going to have a great show today. Bellator London.
I was going to ask. I didn't even ask before we started. Where's Sly?
Sly is in Belgium.
Nice,
or
fair
he
enough.
was in Belgium until today, where he is flying down to Marbella, where he is then going to be going to a festival called Wakana, not to have fun, although I'm sure he's going to have some fun as well. He is working there, camping on site for a week, helping people have a good time, listening to some good music himself, and as a result, unfortunately, was unavailable until 23rd of May. I think he's back, so we've got about another 8 days until we got Sly back in the building. So you'll just have to deal with the two of us until then. Fortunately, the MMA gods have given us plenty to talk about. Starting, of course, with Bellator London, which very fortunately wasn't on at stupid o'clock in the evening.
I still watched it Saturday morning.
Of course you did.
I still watched it on Saturday morning.
Of course you did.
I watched the whole thing though.
I did not watch the whole thing. I'm guilty.
He wants to be throwing shade, but yeah.
Listen, man, I've just downloaded FIFA 22. It is a huge amount of fun. Like, you get to Friday night, you're not going out, you think the fights aren't starting until a certain point, and then time slips you by. But I have seen some excellent things. I saw Paul Daley go out in style. I saw Fabian Edwards have a legend-killing moment. And I saw a main title fight that I would very much like to discuss with you. But you watched the whole card, so please give us a quick rundown of what the... what did I miss? What should our fans have been checking out?
Well, the opening up the main card was an absolute barnstormer. Luke Trainer, undefeated English fighter coming in light heavyweight, young in his career, but kind of revered as being quite a good technical fighter, can grapple, understands the stand-up, understands distance and how to set up traps. Coming up against Simon Biyong, who is a guy that can do a lot of damage, has a lot of power, can end a fight with one shot. Cameroonian, but fights out of France and, very much kind of represents France as well as Cameroon. And it was a good fight. Biyong had Trainer in trouble in the first. Trainer managed to turn it around and had a real slick back take in a good scramble and almost looked like he might be able to finish Biyong, but just couldn't quite get under the chin with the rear naked choke. Ended up kind of settling for position over submission, flattening him out, landing some good ground and pound, doing a lot of damage and winning a round that honestly I thought he might get finished in. Second round, kind of just got his ass whooped. Biyong has that fight-changing power, landed some good shots. Rock Trainer, that was the same in the third as well. And, just took a good solid decision. It's really hard not to like both guys. The way they are in and out of the cage, a lot of respect, a lot of effort, good fucking people. Go check out that fight if you haven't already. I think in some countries it's available on YouTube. Also, if you got a VPN, it's still on iPlayer, so go check out on iPlayer. They've got the whole main card up for you. But that was good. Next fight after that, you have seen, that was the Paul Daley fight against Wendell Giacomo, which Daley was in fucking trouble.
Kind of like the Hamasi fight a little bit, man. Like, he had to pull it out after a little bit of a bad spell.
Kind of like every time he has to fucking wrestle, to be honest.
He's 39 years old. It's not like you're going to teach the old dog new tricks in his last outing.
He did out wrestle MVP. but unfortunately only for 2 rounds because he threw a round away. Would have made the difference, but yeah. He he
Out wrestling MVP doesn't count.
yeah. I mean, we will get to that. Do you know what? We'll get to that.
We'll get to MVP. I've got some thoughts on this one.
Heartbreaker. Absolute heartbreaker. We're talking about Daley though. Look, he was only in trouble until he wasn't. And Jesus Christ, Giacomo got a little complacent. He really didn't need to take any of the shots that he took that really kind of started all of the damage there. He needed to just kind of mind his P's and Q's and be a little quicker in the scramble to get to his feet or at least protect his head. And Daley fucking made him pay for it. And that body shot he ripped was a thing of beauty. I love the body work.
It was great to see Daley go out on that kind of style, man. For his career, for all that he's done, for the entertainment he's brought across multiple different promotions, it was nice. It was nice. And I kind of, you don't see that very often. Quite often when guys say this is going to be my last fight, you get a reminder as to why it should have been their last fight.
Well, I hope it is his last fight. I'm confident it is. He didn't officially take his gloves off or anything, but, he did make it known to everyone that he was retiring.
There are rumours that he's retiring from MMA but not fighting.
Okay, there is money to be made if you're a guy like Paul Daley, I guess.
Hell, man, bare knuckle, I think he could make a few easy million.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a money thing, not a legacy thing. Or a competitive spirit kind of need to kind of scratch that itch thing. Fucking fair play, why not? I mean, you gotta love it when you knock a guy out, as the right hook comes through, the Giacomo's chin follows the same trajectory as the follow through in the fist. It's just that whole that's the predetermined vector now full, and just thing of beauty. I love that phrase today. I'm a little baked.
Thing of beauty. It might have to be the name of this week's episode.
This bit's going to be called Bellator 281, not UFC London. And I'll put in... I'm going to see if I say it enough times in the main episode. I'm probably going to do that. I'm confident that's going to happen. I'm not even going to try and do it deliberately.
Thing of beauty. Okay.
Thing of beauty.
I'll try and watch out for it. Moving on, Ken Watanabe, Denise Kielholtz. I did not see this fight. You did. You said it was a cracker.
This was a good fight. Kielholtz had Watanabe stung in the first. Got it down with a good hip throw as well and was kind of showing she could control it on the ground. But ultimately, Watanabe just needed to be patient, wait for that one mistake. Got the submission. That was a fun fight, and they were saying that if the winner of that fight did get a win in impressive fashion and a nice comeback win, early finish, that's classified as impressive. They were gonna skip over Juliana Velasquez for the next title shot. So
wow,
yeah, Watanabe should be fighting for the title next.
Bloody hell, taking on the Gorilla.
Oh yeah.
That should be a good fight.
Yeah, but Bellator's just fun. It doesn't matter who's fighting anymore. They've got enough interesting fights.
Well, talking about interesting fights, Fabian Edwards had a star-making moment, man. Taking out the Dragon in round 1. And, listen, I actually thought he was having good moments up until then. He seemed to be closing the distance well. He was able to land a few things. And if there's one thing we've learned from his brother, Rocky Edwards, elbows off the clinch, man. You've got to be watching for that.
Yeah, I loved how he was screaming that at the end of the fight. I can't do the Brummy accent. I want to try and do it, but I know I'm going to fuck it up because I'm baked. I got to know that them Edwards boys have good elbows. Sorry, Leo. It really did make a difference when he just kind of got a little bit more awkward and just blitzed forwards. Just kind of sensed I can just fucking find a way in. This guy's not mentally all the way in this fight right now.
Well,
Leo seems to be settling in too much.
Leo's had his career, man. And he's a great fighter, but years in the cage. I mean, you can't really say he's taken, horrific damage. I mean, obviously, you think the Shogun fights weren't pretty.
Yeah.
The Chris Weidman fight was a bit of a beatdown. But aside from that, he's generally done a pretty good job of keeping himself safe. But I mean, he's 42, 43 years old. He's got to be maybe 40.
Dragons don't age.
Maybe 40.
Dragons don't age.
Once he got hit with that elbow, he was on Rocky Street, man. Like, there was no coming back. The shots he took, I don't even think were necessary. He was making no effort to dodge them or move out the way.
Yeah, no, it was it was a bit lopsided, a bit one-sided. But Lyoto can still make good money in Bellator. Just don't fight absolute fucking beasts like the assassin Fabian Edwards.
He needs to work on his post-fight interviews though a little bit.
Or Fabian.
Yeah, got to follow the Chael Sonnen school on this one. When they ask you who you want to fight next, do not say, "I'm willing to fight anybody, everyone," unless you can make it sound really fucking cool, like Hamzat Chad, like, "I kill everybody, I hit everybody." Ah! You got to have a name because it creates excitement. And he literally was just like, "Who do you want to fight next?" "Everyone." Enough said then.
Yeah, I mean, how many guys have they got at middleweight right now? Kind of in the title picture, because Musasi's fighting in like a week or two. Shit, I can't even remember who he's fighting now. But without Rafael Lovato there, it really is just Gegard Mousasi against whoever the fuck is going to be the next guy that got beat by Gegard Mousasi. So, yeah, shit, you might as well just say anyone, because the next one might be a title eliminator, or depending on, really, scheduling. Because they haven't got the deepest divisions.
Should have called out Van Zandt.
I think Van Zandt's a tough fight for him. Like, if you're going to have a tough fight, they might as well be for the belt, you know.
I get you. I just love the fact that you just completely accepted that he is Van Zandt rather than Van Vol. From now on, calling him, from now on this show, he's Austin Van Zandt.
That wasn't like a slip though, because I think of him as Mr. Van Zandt. That's just me being like really fucking high.
Yeah.
So
that's understandable.
We can't be holding me to anything I do today.
Fair enough. I can respect that. Talking about respecting things. Don't know why I used that segue. It's a terrible segue. But let's just get on with it. Let's talk about MVP. This was heartbreaking, man. After round one, a fan yelled at him, "When's it going to come? Is it going to happen, MVP?" And he looked at him calmly, confidently, and said, "Don't worry, it's coming. It's coming." It didn't come. It did not come. It was 5 rounds of Storley on his leg in this weird halfway between takedown, halfway between sort of just holding him.
He had some nice takedowns. He had some really nice takedowns in this fight.
I have an issue with this though, because he had some nice takedowns on this fight after like 2 minutes solid of what you can only describe as complete and utter stalling. And the number of times that...
Did you say Storley or stalling?
Stalling, as in to stall something. I feel the ref fucked this one, man. I feel like he should have been disengaging at multiple different points, and instead he just kept saying, just try and do something, or I'm going to disengage. And then 30 seconds later, "I still need you to try and do something, or I'm going to disengage." Then a minute and a half later, okay, now just through sheer force of will and MVP trying to change the position after thinking stalling's not going to work, you've eventually granny rolled into a takedown where you do nothing. This is what's so irritating about this fight. I think MVP won, because at no point was the grappling effective. He wasn't advancing to good position.
You going 1, 3, and 4?
Going 1, 3, and 4.
Because that there was one judge gave him 1, 3, and 4.
I think that judge was right. Because here's the thing: Storley didn't do anything with.
No. He did nothing. This really is, where do you draw the line between effective striking and effective grappling? Because if you pose no threat to cause any kind of damage that could cumulatively finish the fight, or any damage that could immediately finish the fight, which MVP did, questionably in those 3 rounds.
100%.
Personally, I did score it for Storley, but it really is, like, I'd have to go back and rewatch it, because it honestly is a great like case study for what is better. minimal striking but causing actual damage, or a large amount of top control amounting to sweet FA.
Wasn't top control though. This is my issue with it. So, to confirm, I knew Storley was going to get the result, but it didn't change the fact that I thought that MVP should have got the fight.
Oh, no. I mean, like, I literally scored it for Storley myself. I didn't think this is going to go to Storley because he's had all the control time. I was like, yeah, I think I'm probably going to lean towards Storley in 1, 2, 3, and 5. But for me, like, 3 and 1, I was definitely like, it's close. It is like, in my own mind, I'm like, it's really fucking close.
I suppose my issue is, what do you define as a dominant or controlling position? Because I felt that for a lot of the time that he ended
Pat Barry. We're not talking about that yet.
We're talking about that later. We're talking about that later in detail.
You know when something pops into your head and you can't not do it?
I know. But this is Bellator. Bellator is not the time to talk about Pat Barry.
You asked a rhetorical question, but it was just the answer was in my mind. I had to share it.
I shouldn't have asked a rhetorical question.
You can ask rhetorical questions. I'm just... but if I know the answer, I'm jumping in.
Okay. Well, the point of this is, he wasn't in controlling positions. He was in what I would call stalemates, where... And MVP was responsible for this as well. MVP's not taking a risk to do anything more that could lead to him being in a worse position. And Storley is just so grateful to actually have him hung on that he was like a chihuahua on his leg. And at some point, if you give that position several minutes to advance, with what I think nothing's happened, of course, the MVP fight is going to have to start doing something stupid to get out. Because he's aware that there will be judges going, oh, well, he's winning because his back's here and he's there. And I feel that Storley did not honour his duty of engagement. And he didn't,
MVP did make it easy, though, in the sense that he was a little too relaxed, particularly in the first 3 rounds. Where he knows. For him, I would say for almost just about every fighter, best thing you can do is win the round and be a smart point fighter and be opportunistic. And if there is a way to finish a fight, you absolutely jump on it, but you don't ever force it. You just wait for them to make a mistake in that situation and come to you. With MVP, with how long, how fast, how accurate, how skilled he is on the feet, and with how much power he can generate, not just with how fast he is, but the way that he steps in on these long shots and he steps in and sets up these long shots very well, that really, he rocked Storley a few times. That fucking elbow or right hand behind the kick was really nice. For him, I'm like, yeah, do you know what? Fuck it. You're never going to be an elite takedown defense guy, but you can be good enough that you're going to get opportunities, and just when you're on the feet, just try and finish the fight. But in the end, he does make it easy for a guy like Storley, and that was kind of the big question mark going into this. And also, obviously, you would kind of imagine that when Asimov is back, it would have been very much the same kind of story. In fact, maybe even a little worse.
Yeah, but the difference is that Asimov would have been more effective with the grappling. If Storley had taken him down, if Storley had taken him down,
it wouldn't have been controversial.
No,
it would have been a lopsided loss. But...
And listen, if Storley takes MVP down 5 times, okay, and gets into full guard, half guard, side mount, swaps around a couple of those positions a few times, lands literally 2 strikes in a couple of those rounds, he's won it 100%. But I don't see how you can get hit, even if it's just hit 4 or 5 times, and then just basically hold the guy against the cage, trying to get a takedown for 4 minutes, succeed in the last 30 seconds, do nothing with it, and you're the one who's given the round. For me, you've basically negated the scoring until the last 30 seconds, and then even that 30 seconds of you on top should not counteract against the 4 or 5 strikes landed.
I need to go rewatch it, and I don't know how much. I was just like, some of those takedowns were pretty fucking cool, and that kind of swayed it for me. watching it
Grammy
in the
rolls were
moment.
nice, man, but that is only a changing of position to put yourself in a scoring situation.
No, there were the other ones as well where he, not almost like a suplex, but he's facing him, and then kind of like a sacrifice throw, but he like had the hip straight over, straight into half guard. That one was really nice. Similar when he did. There was some really cool takedowns.
But I mean, even Scott
I enjoyed
Coker was not happy. Like Scott Coker flat out said, MVP won that fight. There is no way that you can become an MMA champion by refusing to try and win the fight in any way, shape, or form. He said that's not MMA.
Yeah. I don't know the way he's gone about it, but he has, he's basically saying, hey, I've got two title contenders up on deck right now. I got Storley and I got MVP still. I'm okay with that.
I understand. I get what you're saying. It was a shame of a fight. It was a horrible anticlimax. Not just because the English guy lost, but because of the way about it. And I don't think, Storley, is he the interim champ? Yeah. Is he going to beat Amosov fighting that kind of fight?
No.
Hell fucking no. And, he was upset. He was upset with the boos. He was upset with the way that people responded. You could tell it.
He handled it well, though. He handled it well.
He did. He called it what it was. Listen, I had a game plan. I did it. What do you want from me?
Yeah, he's very respectful of MVP. I think that's fair enough. Like you said, like standing with that guy is pretty fucking scary. No one wants to do that. I totally get that.
It is what it is. The British fans do not get the interim champion in Bellator that we were hoping for. MVP will be back though. He will feel like he didn't lose the fight, although he lost the MMA bout. And
I don't think he really gets too caught up in it either. Like we were kind of saying in the lost episode, best one we've ever done, to be honest. What I had said in what never aired was that he does have this kind of mentality there. Like he does seem to appreciate what's actually important in life and doesn't seem to get too caught up on like his record, his accolades, anything like that. He'll definitely be back as if he had won this fight. I don't think you can derail his confidence because it comes really just from within. He has...
And I don't think it affects his marketability either because of the way that the fight went.
Yeah.
The people that are fans of his will not go, oh, he got completely outclassed, he's not at their level. They'll go, Storley didn't show up to fights. MVP's the more dangerous guy. He's still the man. So the machine goes on. But it was not how I wanted to see that fight go by any stretch of the imagination. Well, we've talked about Bellator. I think.
Yeah, let's wrap this one up.